this around and getting these last 2 wins?
Just playing together, playing connected, physical basketball.
Joe, Derek has not had the kind of defensive series or postseason that you would expect after the season. And then tonight, it seemed like he was able to take away everything Jimmy wanted. So what is it about Derek that just makes him able to like be consistent in who he is and just kind of continue to get under the opponent's skin?
He just plays with a defensive versatility, and he does a great job paying attention to detail on personnel tendencies.
Joe, how much did Marcus help set the tone with the steal right off the opening tip and the Jason Duncan, then the back-to-back threes there in the first to kind of get you guys going on a run?
Yeah, he's just an emotional key for us. When he's locked in and playing both sides of the ball at a different pace, it kind of gives us our identity in our life.
Joe, is this the best performance in your view in the postseason, and what does it say that you've had probably your best 2 performances back-to-back games here?
It just says that our backs are against the wall and we're sticking together and we're competing at a high level to give ourselves a chance.
And what did Al give you tonight in terms of effort, intensity, particularly in the early going?
Yeah, everything he does is an intangible that you can't measure, and just his leadership and his physicality and his attention to detail defensively is big for us.
Joe, the forced turnovers tonight, you guys haven't ranked very high in those all year, even in the playoffs. What was different there that allowed you to force the amount of turnovers you did? Just
attention to detail, quality shift activity, and awareness to game plan execution.
And in terms of managing Malcolm, throughout the game here, as you said pregame, you're going to go with the flow there. How did that go?
He gave us the best he could, and we kind of went from there.
Hey, Joe, 47 combined points from Marcus and Derek. It seemed like Derek and Marcus both made every big shot that they took. How does that change the dynamic of the offense when guys like Jason and Jalen are able to kick out to them and they're making shots at that level?
Yeah, it just gives us a well-balanced attack to where we can spread the floor and share the ball and just play connected basketball. And so, those 2 guys being aggressive is important for us.
Joe, what's led to the connection? After Game 3, you said you guys were disconnected a little. In the last 2 games, something on the floor, off the floor. Jalen talked about that dinner they had before Game 4. Like, what's happened?
One of our assistants put it in great perspective. The season's like 9 months long, and we just had a bad week. Sometimes you have a bad week at work, and we obviously didn't pick the best time to have a bad week, but we did, and we're sticking together and fighting like hell to keep it alive, and the guys are really coming together.
Is the cause to come back from this brought the guys together? I know it's a pretty obvious answer, but how has it, and has it?
I think it's just your back's against the wall, you don't have a choice. And so it builds a connection and it builds, just an opportunity. And so, like I've said it all year, the guys in that locker room, they always stick together, and when our backs are against the wall, we just have to continue that.
Joe, you talked about Marcus kind of being your identity, and given the situation in with your backs against the wall, how important is it for him going forward to continue to set that tone every game you have left?
Yeah, it's been that way all year. When he plays at a high level and brings a certain pace and physicality, it's contagious, and he sets the tone for our guys. When he plays like that.
Jaylen Brown live, so we'll just pull it up right now.
We got to be able to do that and carry that over into the next game, because we got to expect their best punch next game.
How were you guys able to set the tone?
Just instilling confidence in each other. As we watch film, we get more and more comfortable. We see where we could take advantage of matchups on offense and defense, and just being physical. A lot of big guys stepped up. Grant Williams has been playing really well. Derek White on both sides of the ball, and Smart was just a beast tonight. I don't know what game y'all guys was watching, but Marcus on both sides of the ball was incredible tonight. It was a great performance from him.
Shots falling these last 2 games, is the quality
Bring
any
to the
different?
Next game, because we got to expect their best punch next game.
How were you guys able to set the tone?
Just instilling confidence in each other. As we watch film, we get more and more comfortable. We see where we could take advantage of matchups on offense and defense, and just being physical. A lot of big guys stepped up. Grant Williams has been playing really well. Derek White on both sides of the ball, and Smart was just a beast tonight. Like, I don't know what game y'all guys was watching, but Marcus on both sides of the ball was incredible tonight. It was a great performance from him.
Shots falling these last 2 games, is the quality any different, or is it just a matter of water kind of finding its level?
I think personally for me, water probably finding its level is true, but we also playing the game the right way and seeing where we could be aggressive, and it makes the reads, it makes the shots, it makes everything cleaner. You know exactly where to attack, you know exactly where to take advantage of your matchups, and it kind of allows a aggressiveness, to level out, and that's what Miami wants to do. They want to really get after you on defense. They want to put you in bad spots. They want to, really be aggressive on the ball. And as we're taking our time and being patient and seeing the game is starting to come to us.
Jalen, you mentioned Derek a moment ago in his play tonight. He made a bunch of shots, but what do you remember about the timeliness of some of those shots that he connected on tonight? Yeah,
big-time player, big-time shots tonight. D. White came ready to play. As soon as they gave him any space, he let it fly, and he got hot from downtown. And on not just on offense but on defense, his aggressiveness is key. They try to put him into matchups at times, and his ability to be able to block shots, chase guys off shooter, guard the best player, get out in transition and still hit shots. That's really key for our team.
Jalen, I know you guys haven't been happy with the way you've played defense for a lot this year, and talking about losing that identity a little bit. How have you gone about reforming that identity and reaching this level again over the last couple of days?
One, our back has been against the wall. Obviously, we didn't imagine being in this position, being down 3-0. But, when adversity hits, you get to see what a team is really made of. And, it couldn't get no worse than being down 3-0. But we didn't look around. We didn't go in separate directions. We stayed together. We doubled down on what we're good at on defense. And I think now it's a series. So we just got to take it one game at a time and keep playing.
Jalen, just to kind of follow that up, you said down in Miami that you just wanted to get back there for a Game 6. You're back there now. What's it going to take to beat them in their building again in Game 6? It's
going to take everything. It's going to be a dogfight. I imagine it to be. I imagine those guys to be, play better than they played tonight, and they're going to come out aggressive. We got to be ready to take they punch at home. We got to be ready to be resilient and come out and do what we're supposed to do.
Hey, Jalen, it seems like some of the hustle stats, it seems like some of the second chance points off turnovers, all that's changed in the last 2 games. How much of an impact have those types of things had in this turnaround for you guys?
I think that's the key. I think in the first couple games, they was definitely winning those plays, beating us to loose balls, diving on the floor. And I think in the last 2 games that we've been able to win in those stats and at least match that same intensity. And they've been able to come back down to earth a little bit. So we just got to be the harder playing team. They're well coached. Spo is a great coach. They got great players who have a great mentality. It's going to be a dogfight. We got to be ready to go.
Jalen, you talked about the gathering where you galvanized on Monday night after Game 3. What else has happened? Why this sudden 180? And what's occurred? How has Joe had to do it? What's he had to do with that kind of resurgence? What's happened over the last 72 hours?
Just nothing special. I think just being together in moments of adversity, staying on the same page and sticking with it, doubling down on things that we need to do better, holding each other accountable has been the key. I think once we got ourselves together, we all looked each other in the eyes and saying hey, we're not going out like this. We represent the organization, but we also represent ourselves and our family. And obviously we haven't performed the way we felt like we needed to perform. So that Game 4 was the start of the atonement. And then now we've been able to pick up off that in Game 5, and hopefully we can carry it on to Game 6.
Jalen, this series really flipped in the second half of Game 4 when you started running them off the line and like digging in and really running on defense. So what you're saying about Derek, how big was he tonight, and just like kind of keeping that intensity up throughout the entire game?
It's tough. You know, those guys, they play at an incredible pace. They kind of remind me, the pace they play at is kind of similar to like the Warriors. They sprint to their spots, they sprint off screens, they find those pockets, they relocate, and you can't blink because they'll relocate. You'll lose a shooter 4-3. So you got to be disciplined. You got to be sound. You got to chase those guys because all night they're going to be running. You got to bring your track shoes. And D. White, we got multiple guys that can guard multiple guys. We got to be able to continue that. D. White is one of them, chasing guys off a shooter. But then you might get switched on to Bam. Now you got to bump Bam, or you got to get switched on to Jimmy. You got to be physical. And having multiple guys with versatility is key, and that's what we got to be great at in the next 2 games.
Last question, Adam. Jalen, how, this core obviously has been through so much and accomplished a lot. How do you feel like the experiences you guys have been through over the past few years, the big stages, the elimination games, prepared you for a situation like this and are now helping you as you go through it?
For sure. Experience is the best teacher. We're a resilient group. We've been through a lot, Obviously, it's the first time being in this situation, but it's a first for everything. So we don't look at it like we out. We just take it one game at a time. We just breathe, come out, play basketball, just take our time and do what we're supposed to do. I think we'll be fine. It's a blessing to be able to play this game each and every night. It's a blessing to be in the playoffs. It's highs, it's lows, it's intense moments. It's moments that you're pissed off. It's moments where you extremely excited. It's amazing. So these next 2 games should be fun.
Thank you, Jalen. Our aggressiveness. We picked our spots. We picked our pressure up. And that was really it. Our mindset changed. We can't let these guys be comfortable. They're really good when they're comfortable. They're a really good team. So, we got to make everything as tough as possible for them.
It looked like Joe wasn't going to let the lead go below 15 without calling a timeout. A little different for him. Why do you think he was a little more aggressive with those tonight?
It's when to go home. You know what I'm saying? And then, just like us, as individuals, as players, we learn. And he's learning, he's adapting to the game, the moment of the game, and what it calls for. So, that's what it's all about, especially in the postseason. You got to be able to adapt.
What feels different for you guys from how you started this year?
Just our mindset. Coming in, we were more relaxed. They snuck up on us and got us. And, these last 2 games for sure, we definitely just wanted to turn it around. We wanted to go out there and leave it on the court and, let the results fall where they may.
Marcus, how much did you want to just set the tone early, diving on the floor and making those threes?
Early, bad. It was, I wanted to get us going. I just wanted to come in and give my team some energy early. Especially playing against a team like Miami, you don't want them to come in and get that energy early without fighting back. And this series has been that for us. They've come in each game and they kind of knocked us around a little bit early. For us, we did the knocking around tonight.
Marcus, whether it was last year in the Milwaukee series and now this year, you said the shift in the mindset has changed these last 2 games. Have been able to pinpoint why this team kind of needs that stress, that pressure to shift that gear?
For us is, and I think in anybody in our situation, you got to shift that energy, you got to shift that mindset, because if not, you'd be sitting at home. So, we by doing that, we're giving ourselves a chance, and we came out with another win, and now we got to go do it again in Miami.
Derek was huge defensively tonight, and you guys have just played with so much aggression, really digging at the ball his last 2 games. How big has he been a part of that?
It's huge, man. That's one of the things, we picked up Derek for. It's just the way he plays. He plays the game the right way. He plays the game all the way through, and he plays it with energy like no other. So, when you get a guy like Derek doing that, and then you got a guy like me, everybody else starts feeding off of us, and it was a great night for him and this team.
Mark, to Candace's question, the obvious question is, why did it take 3 games for you guys to change the mentality when you say they snuck up on you, and why not 1 game or something?
That's the thing about sneaking up on somebody. they're not supposed to know you coming. So and that's what happened. We didn't know, we didn't see it, and they got us. So it wasn't like we were trying to have that mindset. It's part of the game. It's part of life. It's part of the roller coaster of playing in the NBA at the highest level. You're going to have ups and you're going to have downs, but figuring out when you get down how to get back up, and that's what we've done.
How do you continue that mindset for 2 more games without letting it slip?
Well, first of all, we got to worry about one. Next game, not 2 games. It's 1 game for us, and that's how we control that mindset, by controlling what we can control and living in the moment at the time.
Final couple questions. B-Rob, go ahead.
Marcus, offensively, your guys' turnovers have been one down the last few games. What are you seeing? You feel like you're reading their defenses a little bit easier now? Like, how do you kind of see that?
Yeah, we're just trying to take what they give us. Miami does a really good job of forcing you to make the right play over and over and over, and they're going to test you on that. And for us, as long as we can just continue to make the right play, usually good things happen for us, and we can live with the results, make or miss, as long as you're making the right play.
Jason, what stood out to you most about the performance tonight in terms of kind of the all-in intangibles of the game and what everybody up and down the roster was able to do that played?
Obviously, I think it started in that first quarter. First play on defense, right? Smart diving on the floor, getting out in transition. That was contagious. Smart played his ass off tonight. Everybody did, but D. White, Grant, Rob, Al. I think just how hard we played, how connected we were on the defensive end, sharing the ball, things like that.
Jason, you just mentioned D. White. He was like a huge part of the aggression, the speed you were playing defense with tonight. You guys have kind of taken over the series ever since you started doing that last game. So how crucial is D. White to being able to dig and recover and just all the things you have to do to stay active against them?
Yeah, D. White was second team on defense this year for a reason. He's a big part of our team, our identity, the things we try to do on the defensive end. He's a very smart basketball player on both ends. And his awareness, his instincts, they showed tonight.
Jason, you seemed to get really hot there early in the first quarter when that led to the technical after it seemed like you got pushed on the dunk there. What did you see in that spot, and what did you see from the response from you guys after that sequence?
I thought he grabbed me, but they didn't think so. I was upset, got a tech, whatever. But we responded. We just kept playing. I think, the crowd kind of fed off that a little bit, and we just kept making plays.
Jason, talking about the atmosphere over here and also imagining a possible Game 7 on Monday, was that the loudest one in this postseason? And how does affect your performance, the performance of the team, and also the opposite team?
I'm just glad we gave them something to cheer about today. We got the best fans in the league, and up until today, this series, we haven't gave them much to cheer for at home. So I was glad that our performance matched the energy that they were giving us, and obviously it raised our level. And they're a big part of what we do, especially at home. We feed off that a lot.
Jason, it seems like this series is swinging on the other guys, the role players. Tonight you got 10 3-pointers combined from Smart and Derek White. What goes into those guys being able to get those shots, make those shots, versus Miami getting those big nights from like Caleb Martin? And I know Gabe Vincent was out tonight, but he's had big nights.
It's a long series, and you're going to need big games from different guys at different points of a series. And, that's why it's a team sport. You need everybody at some point to come up big. And, Smart and D.Y. is, the reason we won tonight. Those two guys, their ability to hit shots tonight, spread out the defense, and then making plays on the defensive end. I think we fed off that energy tonight.
Jason, why do you think this team is so comfortable in chaos? Like, it's a cliche to say, you know, when your back's against a wall, you respond, but it seems like this team really gets compelled to do so when all hope seems to be gone.
That's a great question. I wish I didn't know the answer. For some odd reason, even last year, we always seem to make it a little bit tougher on ourselves. But what I do know is that, you know, you can see the true character of a person, of a team, when things aren't going well, and our ability to come together, figure things out, you know, when it's not necessarily looking good for us. It's unlike any team I've been on this year and last year, you know, just the core group of guys of, you know, being able to respond. And I think that's just a test to our togetherness, you know, obviously how bad we want it. And you know, we got a room full of determined, tough guys that, you know, push come to shove, you know, you look to the left and the right and you believe that, you know, the guy next to you is going to do whatever it takes and go down fighting if it don't work out.
Jason, what's happened to this team in the last 2 hours? Obviously, Game 3 was a low point. Everybody was down. But how did you flip the switch over the last team-wise in the locker room with Joe? Why do you guys look like such a different team?
Yeah, I mean, Game 3, that was as low as you can be, right? And the good part about being that low is you only can play better. It's only up from there. And, you know, I think part of it was just, you know, being down 3-0, you understand how that's never been done. It's, you know, all the talk about that. It kind of gave us a sense of just like, you know, everybody's counting us out, you know, the way we're supposed to win, we're supposed to be done. And I think we started to play a little bit more free, relax. Obviously, you know, our defense intensity, you know, being connected on the defensive end that showed these last 2 games. And then, you know, offensively, I think guys are just relaxed, you know, and really just taking it one game at a time, knowing that we have this uphill battle to overcome. But I really feel like guys have, you know, just kind of taken a deep breath. We were in that locker room after Game 3, it was the lowest you could be. And, you know, I think everybody just kind of relaxed, honestly.
You talked before about the roller coaster ride you guys have been on the last couple of years. I think you said to Roz after the game that the pressure's on Miami now going back to Miami for Game 6 after you guys gotten a couple wins in a row. I think you guys have won 4 straight road elimination games over the past couple of years when you've been in situations like that. What has allowed you guys to go into road environments like that and consistently be able to put together performances like you have to stay alive in series?
Like I said, I wish I didn't know. But you know, I feel like speaking for us in the last this year and last year, when we've had a lead or tied the series up and came back home for whatever reason, we've I don't know, relaxed, for lack of better words, and you know, we've lost some crucial games at home and really just had to buckle down. Of going on the road, backs against the wall, you know, nobody but us and the coaches and the guys in that locker room believed that, you know, whether it's last year or last series that, you know, we were going to win. But, you know, like I said, we got a really connected group. We got a group of determined, tough guys that, like I said, I know I can count on. I know when I look to my left and my right, when all hope seems to be lost, you know, when the game is on the line, our back's against the wall, that, you know, everybody gonna go down fighting, give it everything they have, and that's contagious because we truly whether it's ignorant belief, we do believe at all times that, that we still have a chance that, anything can happen.
Last question.